The best thing about being a big family is the food stamps that we get.
Here are 4 reasons on why I will never get a job.
I don't know why everybody is hating on me for driving a 2025 Tahoe and getting food stamps.
So recently I made a video about the new round of scams that I saw from my own experiences or browsing online, which is honestly going to be a normal series on this channel now because the amount of new scams that pop up all the time, but I definitely missed a big one that is happening right now. Today's topic.
So I think I was originally going to title this video, Lie to Yourself and Then Lie to Everyone Else. And then I did a little bit more scrolling, a little bit more thinking, a little bit more collecting to create this collaboration, this actually compilation. Sorry, I misspoke there. And I know I said we would do more videos with me scrolling my phone, but I forgot to charge my phone last night, so it's charging now. So what you guys get will be off of my MacBook Pro. But the most important thing here, I think, is, especially if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, actually, I take that back. If you've already started a YouTube channel or you're dead set on building a business, you need motivation. You need, better yet, inspiration. And so this inspired me. Act now. Most people have no idea what's about to happen. And that is actually a play on words because it's so vague and open-ended, it could mean almost anything. More so importantly, probably in regard to the future, the economy, and likely how most people are doomed and destined to be broke and poor for the remainder of their lives. But maybe it's a little bit more specific. Maybe it's a little bit more literal. Most people have no idea what's about to happen. And what is really about to happen is you're going to spend about 20 minutes watching this video only to find out that you're no better off at the end than when you started. That the only one who's really benefiting from this is the creator of this content, and they're just continuously peddling and regurgitating the same BS nonsense that they have been all along, that is only putting more money in their pocket and keeping you broke and poor. Hopeful that the creator will continue posting more videos to coddle you and be relatable, make it seem like everything's okay, even though it's not. But I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not trying to create fear here.
In a recession, so I don't want to alarm you like that, right? I'm not here to scare you. I'm just here to...
But I am trying to lie to you because, I mean, from the thumbnail alone, that's not even your true, real face. But act now, because President Trump is the bad guy. President Trump is the enemy. And, you know, if you never really express or divulge your true political position and opinion, then most people will assume, well, you're black. You're a black man. Of course you're not a Republican. Of course you don't like President Trump. Of course you're against MAGA. Or are you?
What's really going to bake your noodle later on is, would you still have broken it if I hadn't said anything?
Man, oh man, oh man, I got so much I want to share with you guys. And even though we started with welfare, we're not going to go down that road. We're not going to go down that route because that is a path of unemployed behavior, literally and figuratively speaking. And you guys are not about that life, right? I know I'm not. Scott Bessent, you guys may recall, we talked about that before, just a few days ago, in regard to trade negotiations with China specifically. I think they were going to meet in Switzerland. I think that's where he said they were going to meet, was in Switzerland today on Sunday. And the media is doing the same thing. So if any YouTuber, if any influencer, if any content creator out there is telling you the same thing that the media is telling you, then ultimately they're lying to you. And that will play into Zach Rios a little bit later on these internet influencers and social media financial economic gurus.
Here's why you should never pay off your house.
If you're a guy in your 20s and you don't have a Lamborghini, you should actually sit down and have like a serious discussion with yourself.
So I measure time. I've compressed and condensed time. I've bent it.
Okay, so today is going to be a good one. We're going to be looking at some bad TikTok financial advice. With the amount of gurus that yap on every podcast you could think of, we end up with some pretty insane clips. I think this one's going to be more of a fun video because people are starting to wake up and realize how full of crap these grifters are just to sell you a course. But I mean, I guess it works at the end of the day because they wouldn't be constantly pumping out these podcasts and clips and viral moments, whatever you want to call it, out for anybody in the world to see if it didn't end up making them money. And that's where their actual wealth comes from, not from any of the things that they're trying to teach you. So we have a lot of examples to go over today, along with some of your comments from previous videos. So if you want to be featured in a future video, leave it in the comments down below. But let's start off with this one.
Because they're just lying to you for their own personal benefit, for their own personal financial gain, for their own increase in wealth, okay? And in essence, they're lying to themselves because they have to drink the Kool-Aid in order to sell it. But ironically, Biggie even says you never get high on your own supply. So they've already committed the first cardinal sin, broke rule number 1.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Actually, no, that wasn't. It was the 10 crack commandments.
It's the 10 crack commandments.
One. Nah, never mind.
Know you've heard this before.
Either way, how many of you guys even know that song?
Never get high on your own supply. Number 5.
I've got this quote here from Alex Hormozi that I want to share with you. I've got a little bit of an inner monologue that I recorded in the parking lot of a Publix this afternoon while it was pouring down, raining, waiting for the wife and kid to emerge, and I can pick them up without getting soaking wet without having an umbrella.
I truly believe from time to time when I come across these posts, or maybe the algorithm is just, maybe this is just the universe's way, or maybe Elon Musk or whatever his new Grok Lord or Grok Lord, whatever new name Elon Musk changed his name to his handle to on X. Alex Hormozi hits me with what I need to hear, what I need to know, what I need to remember, what I need to not lose focus on at the exact right moment. And yeah, the ability to have a great attitude, to stay positive, to be happy, when in essence everything would lend to a reality where you shouldn't be. And that's no way to live, right? I got another Alex Hormozi post that I want to share with you guys. I'll share a little bit later, especially for the folks interested in growing YouTube channels. And it takes work, okay? It takes work. Sometimes you may have to do things you don't necessarily really want to do, but in order to accomplish the goals and get where you want to be, well, it's worth it. I promise you. And if not, the only other option you have is to prove me wrong, is to execute, is to actually put forth the effort, is to actually grind and do the work and get the job done to reach the goal. And then you could say, Kevin, it was worth it, or Kevin, it wasn't. Otherwise, you have no argument. You have no ground to stand on. Now, I don't want to share this with you, but it seems as though this is what pushes the algorithm. This is what gets butts in the seats. This is what gets people's attention. This is what garners views and impressions and ultimately revenue. So I will share with you the bad. I will share with you all the terrible news stories that are happening, or at least being presented in some form, some type of way on my social media feed. And then I will share with you what I really want you to know. If you don't know what to do, the answer is to learn. If you know what to do, then the answer is to do it. And if you're doing it, then the answer is to never stop. I think I said that correctly. I'm trying to memorize this. I'm trying to recite this and repeat it from memory from what Alex Hormozi posted. And again, I think that these are talking directly to me. Maybe they're talking directly to you. But I can't argue with it. I can't deny it. This is real. This is true. This is what I've known for quite some time. And I tell myself every day, I cannot stop. I cannot quit. I cannot give up. And so I don't. I keep working hard. I keep trying. I keep rediscovering who I really am and sharing this information with whoever is watching, whoever this video is connecting and resonating with. And hopefully it will transform at least your way of thinking, if not your entire life. If you want to know how to build a YouTube channel and you actually really want to do it, then yeah, there's a link down below. You can sign up for Patreon. There's only one tier left. It's Kevin's YouTube tier. It's $100. And I will tell you anything and everything you want to know about YouTube. How to make money, the whole nine, okay? And it's not just about clicks and views. Sign up for the tier. Send me a direct message. Ask me any question you want. I will give you the answer. I'm not going to waste time, creating content and posting videos that nobody's engaging with just for, my own personal satisfaction. I'm doing it. I'm making the money. I am living my dream. I am accomplishing my goals. I am happy. I am very pleased with where we are right now and where we are likely headed in the future. I don't mind sharing this with those who want to know more. And if you want to know more and you're willing to put forth the effort and do the work, then you're going to have to spend the money, period. Now, with that being said, let's move on to the next part of this video, which is actually saving money. And if you fall into a completely different category and you're not interested in starting a YouTube channel or building or growing a social media brand, your own personal brand, and you want to save money on your Medicare, then call our partner Chapter for free. 270-467-2426 and get free Medicare help, free Medicare advice. Ask them any question you want, but I would hope that the first question you ask them is, how much money can I save? Because that is what they are here to help you do. So link down below in the description. I'll have it in the pinned comment as well. Chapter, our great partner, already helping so many people on average save $1,100, putting money back into their Social Security checks, all for free. All because the system, perhaps maybe best described as rigged. And someone finally said, I'm tired of this and I want to make a change. I want to help people. 270-467-2426. They're helping people just like I want to help people. But I will be 100% honest with you. You have to be wanting to and willing to help yourself.
And it started off with the single greatest skill you can develop is the ability to stay in a great mood in the absence of things to be in a great mood about. And I got to tell you guys, be honest with you, that's exactly where I am. I found my way of accomplishing this task, this goal here. Hopefully you guys will too. Part of that will be me not sharing everything that would put you in a not so great mood. Instead, let's focus on the solution. Let's focus on the future. Let's focus on growth. Let's focus on success and building something. But directly below that is Scott Bessent, and says that there has been a great deal of productivity in trade talks with China. We will be giving details tomorrow, but I can tell you that the talks were productive. And why is this so important? Well, allow me to retort. It's because the media lies to you, and the media tells you, or at least presents the question of, oh my God, it's been so long. It's been how many days? It's been 100+ days and how many weeks? And President Trump hasn't secured not one negotiation deal. How are you going to do this? Yada, yada, yada. You saw the clips, right? I'm not going to replay them. Okay, maybe I will.
For 5 minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I want to raise a point of order.
Yes, ma'am.
But I don't want the clock to be eating my time.
I'm sorry. Yes,
I would like for the witness to be sworn in before I ask my questions.
the chair doesn't see a need for that. You may ask your question. Your time can start the gentlewoman's time over at 5 minutes.
Secretary Bessent, you were on CNBC earlier this week making claims saying we are very close and maybe we will see some deals this week.
The goal is twofold. The goal is to open the foreign markets and then bring back manufacturing to the U.S. And we're thinking about that in two ways. One is there's strategic industries. So during COVID, we saw that there were many strategic industries where the U.S. was woefully deficient, whether it was medicine supply chains, in chips, in steel, that many of the overseas suppliers were just unreliable partners. So we can't have that happen again. And then on the other side, we want to bring back manufacturing and rebalance the economy.
You're heavily involved here. You have said they need to de-escalate and start that process for us to get going on trade talks. Have they made any effort at this point?
I think we could see substantial progress in the coming weeks. We'll see. That I think it's Stein's law, that which is not sustainable doesn't continue. So 145%, 125% tariff levels are the equivalent of an embargo.
Yep.
And we're reading every day what's happening with factories in China. And from an academic point of view, I can tell you that the history of trade battles, we are the deficit country. The surplus country always has the most to lose.
So they need to make more gestures. What is it that you're looking for, and is that happening? Is there a negotiation about the negotiation?
Yeah, we'll see over the coming weeks, and we'll see what President Trump wants to accept.
Right. I mean, have they offered anything on, for instance, precursor ingredients?
Only what they have said publicly. So, and I can tell you
on tariff. So tell us, tell the American people, tell small businesses and consumers, tell retirees, specifically, which countries are you close to striking deals with?
I'm sorry, Congresswoman, but that would not benefit the United States.
No. I'm asking you a question based on the statement that you made on CNBC.
And I am telling you that it would be detrimental to the interest of the United States for me to answer that question.
Why would that be detrimental?
Because as the negotiations may still be in process as we speak, as we are not at the end of the week yet, I am sure that you, through your question, would not want to compromise the U.S. negotiations.
Reclaiming my time,
would you?
Secretary Besson, the president goes into a press conference and claims that there are negotiations going on.
Just to finish, we also have a situation, because everyone says, when are you going to sign deals? We don't have to sign deals. We could sign 25 deals right now, Howard, if we wanted. We don't have to sign deals. They have to sign deals with us. They want a piece of our market. We don't want a piece of their market. We don't care about their market. They want a piece of our market. So we can just sit down, and I'll do this at some point over the next 2 weeks, and I'll sit with Howard and Scott and with our great vice president, who has done a really good job. We have some good news to report on a lot of fronts, but JD will be there, and Marco, and we're going to sit down, and we're going to put very fair numbers down, and we're going to say, here's what this country, what we want, and congratulations, we have a deal. And they'll either say, great, and they'll start shopping, or they'll say, not good, we're not going to do it. And I said, that's okay, you don't have to shop. Now, we may think, well, they have a right, that maybe we were a little bit wrong, so we'll adjust it. And then you people will say, oh, it's so chaotic. No, we're flexible. But we'll sit down, and we'll, at some point, in some cases, we'll sign some deals. It's much less important than what I'm talking about. For the most part, we're just going to put down a number and say, this is what you're going to pay to shop. And it's going to be a very fair number. It'll be a low number. We're not looking to hurt countries. We want to help countries. We want to be friendly with countries. But you keep writing about deals. When are we going to sign? It's very simple. We're going to say, in some cases, we want you to open up your country. In some cases, we want you to drop your tariffs. I mean, India, as an example, has one of the highest tariffs in the world. We're not going to put up with that. And they've agreed already to drop it. They'll drop it to nothing. They've already agreed. They would have never done that for anybody else but me. So we're going to put down some numbers, and we're going to say our country is open for business. And they're going to come in, and they're going to pay for the privilege of being able to shop in the United States of America. It's very simple. It's very simple. So I wish they'd keep, stop asking, how many deals are you signing this week? Because one day we'll come and we'll give you 100 deals. And they don't have to sign. All they have to do is say, oh, we'll start sending our ships right now to pick up whatever we want or to bring whatever we want. It's very, very simple. And I think my people haven't made it clear. We will sign some deals, but much bigger than that is we're going to put down the price that people are going to have to pay to shop in the United States. Think of us as a super luxury store, a store that has the goods. You're going to come and you're going to pay a price, and we're going to give you a very good price. We're going to make very good deals, and in some cases we'll adjust. But that's where it is.
And then the next day, there's no negotiations going on. So why would you not answer my question? And that will be considered detrimental to the American people, to the American economy. I do not understand. Despite your claim...
I'm happy to say there are negotiations going on. I'm not going to reveal the details.
No filibuster. No filibuster here.
So how long do you think those negotiations will take before they are concluded?
There are numerous countries, as I have said, if you saw my CNBC interview, which you referenced, that there are 18 important trading partners, and we are moving forward at all deliberate speed with those.
Do you consider these negotiations advanced negotiations?
Some of them are quite advanced.
So you expect this deal to be more than memorandums of understanding? You expect them to be full negotiated trade deals?
I believe that they will be the agreements in principle, and then we will paper them over in the coming months. But once we reach an agreement, then I am sure that the other countries will live up to it.
Okay. In congressional testimony yesterday, you said the U.S. has not started negotiating with China on tariff reductions. Does that continue to be your position, yes or no?
As you may have read...
Yes or no, sir?
As you may have read in the press, I will be going to Switzerland, and the negotiations will begin on Saturday.
Okay, so the president told you that that will be your answer today. So can you tell who from the Trump administration is engaged in those discussions?
Which discussions?
With China.
Trade discussions?
Pardon?
I'm sorry.
Trade discussions, yes, sir.
Well, the trade negotiations will be led by myself and Ambassador Jameson Greer, USTR.
And what about Pete Navarro?
Sorry?
Peter Navarro.
He will not be joining us in Geneva.
Thank God for that. Are those negotiations considered advanced?
Pardon?
Are those negotiations considered advanced?
As I said, on Saturday we will begin, which I believe is the opposite of advanced.
Secretary Besson, as Treasury Secretary and a senior member of President Trump's economic team, has President Trump given you the authority to finalize any trade agreement with China or any other trading partner?
As President Trump has stated, he will have the final decision on any trade agreement.
So you're telling me all of these increased prices, the stock market losses, the production delays are all based on the whims of Donald Trump, that you could strike the best deal with Canada, Mexico, or even China that is completely in our favor, giving us everything the administration
Gentlewoman's time has expired.
And if President Trump decides at any certain moment, for whatever reason, not to take the deal, that will be it. I yield back.
The gentleman from Oklahoma, Mr. Lucas, who is chair of our Task Force on Monetary Policy, is recognized for 5 minutes.
But anyway, the art of the deal, folks. We're talking about the GOAT. We're playing 4D chess here. But the problem is, much like the mainstream media, much like Smart Money Bro and others like them, they only want you to be afraid, and they don't want you to actually have the knowledge and skill and information and the ability to improve. Because if they did, they would flat out tell you. They would flat out tell you from the beginning. They wouldn't have this dog and pony show. They wouldn't beat around the bush. They wouldn't play these freaking mind games and clickbait and drag you along. They would flat out tell you. Zach Rios, he tells you the truth. The reason why these people do what they do and share what they share and continuously, constantly create and upload more content is because obviously it's working, right? Well, probably. But this is exactly why I don't have a course for sale. It's because, honestly, the game works. Trust me. This is not a green screen. I can't make this shit up, folks. This is real, okay? But most people don't want to. Most people don't want to work. Most people would rather rely on the system, have things handed to them, survive off of welfare, yada, 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 so on and so forth. But that's no way to live, at least not for me and the people in my circles. Very small circle, but be that as it may, it's just, you got choices. You got an option, okay? I choose not to select that option. And so I also am not concerned with peddling a course. And in fact, I don't want to get into the whole course thing, but basically what it boils down to is I had to change the Patreon and structure it in a way that people would actually only sign up and become members if they were actually interested, if they actually had skin in the game, if they actually really wanted to progress. Otherwise, I'm not selling a course. But if you sign up, if you sign up and you DM me and you ask questions and you act on the things that we talk about and discuss, there's no way you can't be successful. Period. Like, there's no other way I can describe it. But if you don't, more power to you. No harm, no foul. It gives me more time and freedom to do the other things that I really want to do. I do enjoy helping people, but I'm also not going to just sit there and waste my time investing in something that ultimately will provide and bring back zero return. Been down that road. No good deed goes unpunished. It's words to live by. Defund welfare. It's hard to riot when you've got to go to work. True statement. You got to think part of the reasoning behind why these fake news, misinformation, propaganda campaigns are created is for that very reason. But we also know that some of these protesters are being paid to be there, and so they can afford to buy their pack of cigarettes or McDonald's supersized combo for the day. Speaking of scams, we got one here in the comments. Watch out for that shit. I'm not trying to get your money. I'm really not. I'm actually trying to save you money. Our partner Chapter, the sponsor on every video here recently, offers free Medicare help and free Medicare consultations to save you money. That's it. Call them. 270-467-2426. The link's in the description. There's information in the pinned comment. You can go to their website at askchapter.org/Kevin, Kevin, if you don't know how to spell my name, and just ask them, hey, Kevin said, you guys are here to help me save money. How does that work? And they will tell you. That's it. And if you've already called Chapter, then leave a comment. Let everybody know how it went. There you go. There's my sponsored plug for the video. Speaking of your comments, this comment popped up on this morning's video, and I got to share it because I don't want you guys to be without. I don't want to withhold this information, and I want you guys to have every possible fighting chance and have the tools you need, the weapons in your arsenal to be victorious in discussions on what technology and equipment I am using to create these videos, which is extremely low rent, by the way. I do not invest a lot of money in my videos. Do not do that. And part of the conversation was recording now on an iPhone 16 Pro Max. And if you can't afford an iPhone 16 Pro Max, that sucks. But if you want to be able to afford an iPhone 16 Pro Max, then I think you should probably continue listening to these conversations, okay? And then beyond listening, taking action. Michael McKinsey says, if you amortize your phone, they're not that expensive. And that's a false statement. I'm going to explain this in just a moment. My last phone was a Samsung 9. I'm now on a 25S. It was $1,000. If you get the right program, the phone is free. And this is actually a terrible way to look at it. And whoever taught this should be taken out around back and beaten with a hose, because to think about money in this way is entirely wrong. LOL, my opinion is, I don't care what your opinion is, whether you're mayor, congressman, send it. Don't care what your opinion is, we're following the law. Completely off topic of the cell phone that's talking about Mayor Ross Baracus. The video's up if you guys want to go check it out. Sometimes I have a hard time communicating, or at least I did, having a hard time trying to communicate in a way that's not natural and organic to how I think and how I speak and how I talk to my friends, my family, people in general. And it's not a good habit. I got to break it. Like I said, I'm learning, I'm growing. My other YouTube channel is really helping me in that process. But I do need help from time to time, and I'm not afraid to ask for it. I'm not ashamed, or, I don't have too much pride to let you guys know that I have AIDS. And this is part of it, folks. This is how you win. This is how you succeed. Grok, this comment was left on one of my videos. What are they talking about? Is this true? The commenter is likely referring to the concept of amortizing the cost of a phone and possibly participating in a carrier or manufacturer program that makes a phone appear free under certain conditions. Let's break it down and address whether this is true based on the common and available information. Now, Grok gets into this extremely long-winded, extremely wordy explanation, which is great because Grok is giving you more information than you could ever really want. But the more you know, the better. There's two truths in this. There are two true statements. You can never be overeducated and you can never be overdressed. Okay, so there you have it. This is my finest Bucky shirt. Grok, this is too wordy. Sum it up and point out how the phone is not free and amortizing should really be called what it is: financing. That was my request. And Grok says, the commenter means financing a phone, not amortizing. Spreading a $1,000 Samsung Galaxy S25's cost over monthly payments, for example, $27.78 a month for 36 months, they claim a program can make it free, likely via trade-in credits or carrier bill credits. And this is partially true, but misleading. I mean, if you're going to trade in a phone, did you not buy that phone? Either way, not free. Free phones require trade-ins. A Galaxy S9, $78 to $113 value in 2025 won't cover much. Or costly plans and contracts, for example, $70+ a month, you pay indirectly or owe the balance if you cancel early. So the money is going to be, they're going to receive their money, folks, okay? No one is out here operating for free. Not even me. Not even with these videos that I create for you guys that you don't have to pay to watch. I'm not doing this for free. Financing, not amortizing. Amortizing is a misnomer here. It's just financing, period. Paying overtime, often at 0% APR, but you're still paying the full price unless credits apply. Check Samsung.com or carrier sites for details. Free is marketing. There's always a catch. That may be where we end this video, on that bombshell. There's always a catch. And free is relative. Amortizing is just spreading out the payments. And financing is really what we should call it. Whether you pay $1,000 now or collectively $1,000 over the course of 12, 24, 36 months, you're still paying that money, so it's not free. This has nothing to do with the phone. This has nothing to do with the comment, really, but it has everything to do with financial literacy and education of understanding how money works, how business works, and ultimately how you or anyone else can save money, build a business, build wealth, invest, make money online, grow without all the lies, without all the BS, without all the clever marketing scams and tricks and clickbait and all that other shit. That's it. That's all I got. Oh, yeah. And the media, full of shit. Scott Bessent, negotiations in China, President Trump, this mandate, the MAGA movement, it's working, folks.
I want to echo the Secretary's remarks with respect to the Swiss government. They've been so welcoming, and they've hosted this, and everything has gone off flawlessly, and we appreciate that. And again, to the Chinese negotiators, Vice Premier Liu He, Vice Minister Li Qiangong, and Vice Minister Liao Min worked very diligently, and these are very tough negotiators. A couple of them I know from before and have had past interactions with them. And this was, as the Secretary pointed out, a very constructive 2 days. It's important to understand how quickly we were able to come to agreement, which reflects that perhaps the differences were not so large as maybe thought. That being said, there was a lot of groundwork that went into these 2 days. Just remember why we're here in the first place. The United States has a massive $1.2 trillion trade deficit. So the President declared a national emergency and imposed tariffs. And we're confident that the deal we struck with our Chinese partners will help us to work toward resolving that national emergency.
Everything that we were told, everything we were promised, all campaign, all the rallies, everything, it's happening. Believe it if you want. Me personally, I'd rather trust President Trump. I'd rather trust Rapid Response 47. I'd rather trust Elon Musk, JD Vance. I'd rather trust the people who think like me, who speak like me, who do things like me, who don't necessarily consume and gobble up all the garbage that's coming out of the left, the media, social media, gurus, and are actually making moves, actually progressing, actually doing well in life, because they are not falling victim and falling and tripping up and falling into the trap of believing the lies that are continuously at least advertised, sold, and then bought on a daily basis. If you want to know more, link down below in the description. Connect on Patreon, join, send me a DM. If you want to save money on your Medicare, call Chapter and see what options exist. Their information is down there as well. You can call them at 270-467-2426. And if you want to watch another video, then pick any one of these two that pop up next.